Brock University's Library and Special Archives is now housing a major collection of Canadian history that they acquired about a year ago, and it took that long to go through it and to document its historical significance. Joining us now is David Sharron from Brock University. Welcome to the program, David.
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be here.
David, this is the Alexander Hamilton collection. Why is it so significant?
Well, Alexander Hamilton, he was a very influential individual who lived out of Queenston, Ontario, so right in our own backyard. And anything that happened between about 1800 to 1839, when he passed away, couldn't have happened without his influence. He was the postmaster, he was the judge, surrogate judge, he was a customs officer, sheriff. He was involved in the War of 1812, the beginning of the Welland Canal. Like he had his finger in everything. So the fact that these records survived almost 200 years, and now that they're back in the Niagara area, it's absolutely thrilling.
How did Brock come about acquiring this collection?
We are very fortunate that this was associated with the Woodruff family collection that we obtained 6 years ago. The gentleman who had this material for decades and maintained it so well passed away in 2013, and his house was basically a private museum of Canadiana. And it took years for the family to figure out homes for all the materials in their uncle's house. And when it came to this collection of Alexander Hamilton, our work with their family materials years prior just said Brock is the perfect place for this. The records stem all out of the Niagara area, as well as Brock University can do a good job at taking care of it and making sure the proper researchers can get their hands on it.
This gentleman's name was Robert Band, and I understand that his father acquired this collection for 17 cents at a garage sale. Is that true?
The Band family is a family of collectors. They all had their little niches, but Percy Band had a very good eye for postal history, and he did work in this area. And in the 1940s, he went to a garage sale and found an old sack of mail, and it had all these records in it. And he haggled it down to 17 cents. And when we had this appraised last year by an independent appraisers, it was valued at about $350,000. So a very good investment by the Bands.
The monetary value pales in comparison, though, to the historical value. Can we take a look at some of these items? There's one image that you sent us. There's a medal in that image. What is that medal?
Oh, that is a land document. And so one of Alexander Hamilton's job in his civic duties was to make sure that land transactions happened properly according to law. So that is a land transaction written on animal skin. And that is a wax seal of it's a symbol of Upper Canada. So it's an official document showing a land transaction between two people.
There was another document that looked like a license to open up a liquor shop.
Yes, and that was Alexander trying to do it for himself, his own business, and it was signed by the Lieutenant Governor of Upper Canada. So I think that was from 1810 or 1809. So that document is a nice little treasure too.
What ends up happening with all of these documents and artifacts? Who can access them? How can they access them? Are you putting a major part of this collection online for people to look at?
That's our intention. We were in the process of digitizing the entire collection when the pandemic started. So we are still not in our offices yet. So the digitization will continue when we get back to Brock. But we do have an online exhibit that details what's in the collection, and when things are back to normal, this would be available to anyone who wants to research it. The beneficiaries to Robert Band's estate wanted this to be shared with the Niagara community in general, and that's what we want to at Brock. So anyone who's interested in seeing this, whether you're a student, a faculty member at Brock, or in the community wanting to look deeper into this history, it's available for everyone.
And that was my next question. How does this support the history department at Brock University?
Oh, it'd be fantastic for anyone who's doing Canadian history at Brock, as well as it just opens up a lot of the documentation, especially with the postal system, talks about how American and the Canadian/British systems were different, and that they were conflicting with each other. And some of this went all the way back to England. So it's really, it can be an international collection as well as a local collection. So anyone who's studying 19th century Canada-British relations can get into this and get something out of it.
David, thank you so much for your time. Very interesting story. David Sharron, Head of Archives and Special Collections, Brock University. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mike.